So hi, my name is Tiago, and I'm here today to give you a brief introduction of how to develop add-ins for Microsoft Office. Just what is an Office add-in? You probably have guessed it, but it's a way to add extra functionality to Office applications for Excel, Word, and so on. So you get access to the document that is being edited by the user, and you also have access to the outside world. So for instance, you can create an add-in to populate stock price information in Excel spreadsheets where you are listing stock prices, for instance. In the past, they were developed with native Windows technologies, VBA, COM, and VSTO. They were compiled and distributed as installers, binary files, and they worked only on Windows. So the user actually had to, like it was in the past, download the files and install them. And they worked only on Windows. So if you had Office for Mac, you were out of luck. In around 2013, Microsoft introduced a new way to develop add-ins. It was just a small API at the beginning. It was just access to the generic Office APIs, document versions, and stuff like that. But since about 2016, they have introduced many more APIs for specific host applications, Excel, Word, PowerPoint, and so on. So nowadays, it's like developing a HTML-based application, mobile application. It's not, but it's the same. It's a web view that runs inside Microsoft Excel, for instance, and you create a typical website with HTML, CSS, JavaScript. You self-host it in the cloud, and you have access to it all by yourself. So the advantages are that it's always updatable. So if you have a bug fix or a new feature, it's just deploy it on your server, and users will immediately be able to get your updated plugin, your add-in. Also, the same code runs on all platforms. Nowadays, previously it was Windows only, but nowadays your add-ins can work on Windows, Mac, iOS, Android, and Microsoft Online as well. Office Online, sorry. The only thing that is not updatable by yourself is not updatable immediately. It's updatable by yourself, but it's if you want to change the store listing, because like the App Store and the Play Store for Apple and Google, they also have an App Store, Microsoft. It's App Source, and you have your app listing with your images, your text, your marketing material, screenshots, and so on. So if you want to update that, for instance, if you change the UI of your application and you want to submit a new screenshot, then you have to resubmit your application. It takes about 2 days, but I have good experience with it. Also, another thing is that the Office add-in runs inside, for instance, Excel. So it has to be accessible somewhere inside Excel. Usually it's in the ribbon. It has a new menu that you add with your icon, with your text, and so on. So if you want to change, for instance, your application icon or the title of your application, then you have to resubmit the application as well, because you have to update the XML manifest with your new information. So how does it look to program against the Office API? So they give you two main JavaScript objects. The Office one, which is, again, generic Office stuff. And for instance, if you are creating an add-in for Excel, then you get the Excel object. Again, just so you understand, and you probably do understand it, it's a web page. So you can run an add-in on Chrome. For instance, you can open the website that Excel itself opens. But you won't have the Office and the Excel objects, which are injected by the host application, by Excel itself. So once you are running inside Excel, this is how it looks like. For instance, you run an asynchronous context, and then you have access to the native part of Excel. So for instance, here I'm running code to get a worksheet and then to get the range. The range is, if you select some few cells, a rectangle, that's a range. So here you get the range, and here you select the range. So what happens if it runs that line is that in Excel, visually, the cells are selected as if you went there yourself with the mouse. Then you can load the information that is in the range. This is asynchronous. So here you can see that I want to load, for all the cells in that range, I want to load the text, the values, and the formulas. And then I run context sync, because it doesn't run every comment sequence. It doesn't run the comments as soon as you tell them to run. Basically, it's a queue, and you say, OK, do this. I want to do this. And once you run context sync, it sends everything over to the native side, because it's expensive. Data has to be serialized, unserialized, and so on. And it takes a few milliseconds to go and come back with the data. So what I'm doing here is I'm getting 3 things at the same time. And once it comes back and the weight is finished, here, for instance, I can get the formulas, the top left formula of my selection. Regarding the UI part, Microsoft also provides a UI framework. It's a Office UI fabric. You can think of it as a React or a Material UI, but for Microsoft Office products. In my opinion, it looks good. It works fine. They have icons, they have fonts, they have text-related stuff, and form for checkboxes and so on. And why am I talking about this super interesting subject? Because I created a platform which is Publish It. So it's an Office add-in, and the purpose is to transport an Office spreadsheet, an Excel spreadsheet into HTML, into a web page. So for instance, as you can see here in the example, I have this Excel spreadsheet. I pressed publish, and it transformed into an HTML web page. It's not just Excel to HTML conversion, it's also the hosting of the HTML resulting file. So the add-in itself, technical details, it's a web page developed with React, with TypeScript. Microsoft provides a human generator where you just run 2-3 comments, and suddenly you have the full base ready to run with your base add-in. And on the other side, we have the web page. The technical details, it's created with Next.js. I was using Create React App, but I was having some SEO problems, and I'm really happy with Next.js. So the purpose of the web page is, of course, for users to register and for promotion, but also to manage the account and to view and manage the published web pages. So, how do I use the mouse there? OK. So just a quick demo of how it works. I'm not going to do a live demo because it wouldn't work. So as described in my XML file, my Publish It icon appears there. There is the web page on the right. You just provide the title. You click Publish. It scans the file, and it publishes, and it's done. So now you have it hosted on my web page, and you can share it with everyone. The resulting table is interactive, so you can change the values, and it will change the resulting formulas. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.